should act for the future, and this is right now.
We are talking to basically all parties.
A sailing collective is even bigger.
Together we stand stronger.
About sustainable shipping.
Hey Julia!
Hi Peggy!
Nice to see you in Hamburg on the 19th of September. We're sitting here having a wonderful view to the Elbphilharmonie, and we're in the harbor area. In which area are we?
Yeah.
And how does it come that you are based in Hamburg, and what kind of role will you play?
The reason why we're looking at the Elbphilharmonie right now is because we're sitting in the Hansahafen here at 50er Schuppen. How do you call it?
Yeah, a trading point where earlier times were storage. There was trade. It's a very traditional old place, and it's still alive, right?
It's still alive. It's living maritime heritage. This was the area where the big sailing cargo vessels went and did their cargo trading from all over the world, and it was a hub here. They still connect or educate on how it was back in the days, the sailing vessels that was built in Hamburg, all of them, in Finkenwerder or in Altona, and here they were all built, the ships that we are taking care of. Here in this part of the harbor is where big sailing vessels came and they did cargo sailing, but this part is still standing. It's the halls where all the cargo would come in, and in this way we still have the sailing vessels that are sailed in Hamburg and also fished in Hamburg, and they're all traditional sailing ships like the Peking, and we also have all kinds of old sailing vessels here.
And you have been sailing and you're doing sail training and operating from here.
Yeah.
What kind of ships are you on, and who can train with you?
Yeah, I work for the Stiftung Hamburg Maritim, and they are taking care of about 13 sailing vessels that are all built here in Hamburg. And on each vessel they have volunteers, like they have community clubs, and they have volunteers that still needs to learn how to sail. And that's where I come into the picture together with my partner. That's where we do education and old traditional sailing and how you maintain the rigging and just the practical seamanship part that you can only learn on board a ship on an old traditional vessel. And these vessels are everything from steamships and also an old tugboat, and they also have old fishing vessels, Ladenrad-Küster and Greta and Katharina.
These are the names, right?
Yeah, it's really cool names.
It's German.
It's German names. It's a very wholesome project in the way that we sail with hamburgers in Hamburg on Hamburg-built ships in front of the Elbphilharmonie on Landungsbrücken, as it's really in the place where everything was connected. Truckers and the trains are also here, and the cranes are also here, like how it used to look. And on the other side of where we're sitting right now, you can see how the cranes look today, and you see the big cargo ships come in and out of the harbor. In this way, we're very connected to the modern cargo and the modern sailing of today.
I've been sailing in here 2020 with the sailing vessel Aventure. We were having cargo like coffee and cacao and rum, and we were unloading exactly here at the Harbor Museum in an old traditional way. Haven't you been in the Seaford School as well?
You know what? I was in the Seaford School together with you. Enkhuizen is really a big place to do networking for sailors who are ready to take their sailing life into a professional light. I was working with sail training back then already, and getting young people on board boats. I can say Windseeker. I was working for Windseeker in Amsterdam.
Awesome. Hopefully we will work with them together, right?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Let's see what they want.
They're getting the people involved into the passion of sailing, especially young persons.
Yeah.
And that's really super awesome. And then if you are really interested, you can go afterwards to the Seaford School and become a real professional.
Yeah.
And you might want to participate with the Fair Winds Collective.
Yeah.
And that's how we also got connected. You, the Seaford School. So this is a place where we connect, interact, and create new ideas. And we are open, a new generation of sailors. It doesn't matter how old are you. We have been there between 20 years old and even kind of 80 years old.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean with new generation, people who are really interested and passionate about the sailing topic.
Yeah.
We were talking about the ideas about sustainability, about equality on board of ships, about how to present the sailing world in different hubs.
Yeah, and I think actually now would be really good to come into why we ended up having these conversations, because I've been sailing for about 10 years now. I started my sailing career when I was 18, a young woman in sailing. And that has not been without any ups and downs. But the good thing is that I got a lot of experience in how it is to be a woman in the world, but also specifically how it is to be a woman on a sailing boat. And also in the commercial sailing. Let's say it like that, I experienced that there is something that we can do about that.
About equality,
About
right?
equality, exactly. That I think in the future of sailing, what is it like to have a life on board, a good life on board a boat that is about how you're getting treated, how you're getting talked to, but also your free time on board, that you can interact with good things that makes you happy and makes you feel like you are part of something bigger. And that you, when off the boat, you can still interact with sailing. That's how, like, if you are suddenly a woman who wants a kid, what do you do then? Like, is there a community for you to pick up on you?
You will be working on international sail training on board for a wholesome life as well, right?
And also equality, so sail training, communication, but also knowing where it all came from. Like for me, my biggest passion is also that we learn how to use the old techniques in a more developed way, that we rethink how we're doing cargo, because there has been developed so many things for it back in the days, and it's a knowledge we're starting to lose. Not really, but we're starting to lose the knowledge of sail training, because back in the days the old who've been sailing for many years would maybe be part of a ship when they came home and would teach the next generation, and someone else has to start doing that.
Nowadays, women, right?
For me, it's really nice to be able to do sail training now, because I've been sailing for many years, and to do it with youngsters. And I always see, if it's a woman also, that they have another role model to look up to, and that they could go into sailing, even if they're a woman. That's not even a question anymore. Like, of course you can go as a woman, but not without talking about what it is like to be a woman. And I would also like to help with that.
Thank you very much that you are participating in the Fair Winds Collective with your knowledge, with your skills, and with your passion, of course, and with your positive mindset. You will stay in touch with the base in Hamburg, so this will be the new hub, which will connect to Amsterdam right now.
Yeah.
We will connect Denmark.
Because I'm also from Denmark, and that's also where my first education in sail training. They are using the ships, and the ships are getting funding for sailing and traditional ships. And I think it would be very wholesome if we can provide children or kids and young people, after they started their interest in sailing,
after the Windseeker,
for example, you know, like that we can provide that they also have a future in sailing, and in general a future that is that there's something for them to participate in, but also that the planet will be still a nice place to be for them. And that's where the whole thing comes from my part, that we make a sustainable life and sustainable way of living, sustainable feelings. Yeah, like sustainable can be many things. It can also be that you have a good life.
So we are a non-profit collective. Yes, that's what we are. I would like to know, how does it come that you have been sailing?
It started very randomly. I think for most people it does. I was on a sailing vessel when I was 17. I got the opportunity to come on board a really nice, big, full-rigged tall ship called Christian Radich from Norway. And I got to sail from Norway to my hometown. And on this, I was still in school. And when I did this trip, I got lost in this world of sailing. I was so in love with it. I found it so meaningful, and the connection you could do at sea with other people, and seeing what sailing back in the days was like, a little bit of course in a modern light. It was very inspirational in the way of connection and going different places and seeing places differently. Life on board was simple.
Yeah.
It was understandable. It made a lot of sense. And then I was on training ship Denmark. I saw that if you are in a position like the crew is on board training ship Denmark, where you have a lot of impact and knowledge sharing, you also have a big possibility of telling how you would like the future to be in sail training. And that's what sail training is actually where my heart lies. It's in sail training on old traditional ships, because I feel like understanding how things worked back in the days also gives you a broader understanding on how the modern technologies work and how they don't work. Education is very, very important to sail properly and have good seamanship. It's my main course. And so I would really like to contribute with that to the Fair
Winds Collective.
Fair Winds Collective.
We are related to the Safe Road School. There's a lot to do out in this world. We start sharing and caring for each other. If you find yourself in a similar position and you ask yourself, why is it so similar? Then please contact us.
Yeah.
Be part of a collective, or let us be part of your wonderful work. We want to go with something. We are having seminars, we're having education in the future, we're having exhibitions. This means in Hamburg there will be presentations, there will be permanent visible spots where you can see what kind of sailing ships are operating, what kind of sailing projects are out there, how to connect with them. And that is something in Amsterdam, it's already there. In Amsterdam, it's for sure. In Hamburg, we are in a progress. And then we will have trainee tours for professionals. Then we go from Hamburg to Denmark, maybe even to Norway, or just from Denmark to Amsterdam. Then we go to Enkhuizen. Then we go from Enkhuizen back to Hamburg.
Yeah.
And in between stops. And of course, we will visit the traditional old sailing vessels on our way, the berths, the harbors, and
the museums.
Then we will have nice evenings sharing with other sailors our passion, interact, network, to support the European Green Deal. 2050 it shall be reached. Maybe we can push that a little bit into the right direction.
Yes. Sailing has always been political. I think we have to start thinking sailing, it's broader than just going on a big cargo vessel and do your education on board. It also has to have purpose. And like sailing boats are not losing their purpose. They are actually getting more and more purpose the more we move together towards a greener future. They have the opportunity of caring for a community. That's what was always around sailing ships. It's also about how the education is on board, and we are going to be the one who are responsible in the future for educating the next generation of sailors. And there is just something about sailing, a sailing boat.
Yes.
Yes. It is fantastic.
And passion.
And passion. It is really based in passion, and some people are willing to give up their life for going on a sailing boat. And I understand this because it's very, very unique.
Right. Yeah. And sailing means purpose. Sailing means a meaning for your own life. Having a meaningful life means also fulfillment. In the end, of course, we all need money to survive, but the question is how much is really needed.
Yeah. A ship is a perfect metaphor for many things because it represents a community. I think in every speech I hear, there's something with a sailing ship or with a boat. We're all in the same boat, or we are all in it together here on board. It all comes back to that on a boat, you understand society a little bit.
To work together. Otherwise you can't survive.
And you can't get forward. You can have a sailing ship with many people, and you can also have your sailing ship as a scene, like as a stage or as a platform. A ship can be many things, and I think that is very interesting. How do we use the ships in the future? It can be so many things. It can be... it could be your trip to across the Atlantic to see another as a passenger, of course, or like someone who, it can be your way of going on a trip. Yeah. It can be your way of going
to Amsterdam.
It can be your way of doing your holiday. Of course, there's a lot of things that has to be organized around a ship, but if you do it together, it's not so bad. I know someone who just rebuilt an old boat in a community together.
Oh, right.
All young sailors and also older sailors, but all went together, made a ship really nice, and then they started now sailing across the Atlantic together.
So let's combine a little bit of money, passion, and skilled knowledge, and our strength to divide our tasks in the world. And that's what we are aiming for with the Fair Winds Collective. Be part of it, or let us be part of your project. Yeah. It's a non-profit organization.
We are here to share our passion.
Yes.
Yeah, and to share that passion with other passionists.
Combine that with a modern business world, of course.
The kids like, oh, can you actually work there? It's like, yeah, that's possible to work there. Like back in the days, people just went on the harbor and asked for work, and now you can't do that anymore. The natural thing of a harbor, back in the days, it was a hub. It was a place you went that was where everything happened, especially in a harbor city. Yeah? And all the stories from overseas came in, or the music on vinyls came in from England or something like that, That was also a lot to culture to do. And when you put this in perspective for people, they start to understand their own city, and they start to be able to interact with it in another way and look around and start seeing some more truths about what history actually, or like the sailing had done, in good and bad, but definitely what an impact it had on their daily life today. Like that's what we have to do.
In an educational way, right?
Yeah, we put it into a frame.
I was scared at the first time when I was sailing. I got told, Peggy, then your true inner self is showing up. And I thought, oh my God, what is my true inner self? Yeah. I'm looking forward to discover that. Yeah. And and then I thought, okay, I'm still the same.
It's really good to meet yourself at sea, because you really meet the true you. You can't hide behind a mask. You can't hide about the things you actually are. I remember that so much. I was on training ship Denmark. I was 18. You have so many masks at 18. You're, in general, like that is for me was my biggest fear was to be myself. Because I didn't know who I was yet. And then I'm walking around with a lot of other my age, and we were all feeling the same, but suddenly we figured out, okay, it was like funny things that you discovered about yourself. Like, I cannot take when someone's sock smells like this, but I have to take it because someone might not like the way I laugh. Yeah. That's just how it is. And someone might not like the way I talk to them, but that's just how it is. We have to get out with each other in this way. We still have to wake up next morning and
work together. Right.
It's very groundbreaking things that you learn about yourself when you're at sea.
Yeah, and it's different than ashore because you can't go anywhere else.
No, maybe in the rig.
No, but some days it's a bit too dangerous.
Or in the toilet. But I also like the community of the galley.
Yeah, wow, the galley is a wonderful place. That comfort zone area, if everything is working well on a ship.
Exactly.
So that's where the heart beats. But if you want to find out more, you can discover the hubs, and then you will meet the sailors, the vessels, you will meet the tradition, and you will meet the future.
Yeah, I think that's a good ending.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you too. I almost can't stop talking. Do we have more on the list?
We have a lot of things more on our list to work on now, but these things will be published during the next months because we are still working. You are working in the Maritime Stiftung. I am working on the Holden Leo for 7 months sailing, so that's a whole full-time job. Yeah. Cosmo is working in a full-time job at the Safeguard School as the principal, and of course he's preparing everything what is needed to be prepared for the Fair Winds Collective in his free time. Nitya will be our supervisor from shore. She's traveling through France. We are in a good brewing phase of our project, making connections, maybe with you next time.
Yeah. See you out there.
Fair winds. You are very welcome at the hub, Cap de Green Hope in Amsterdam. Thank you for your work. Contact us www.fairwindscollective.com.
Fair Winds Collective.
we should act for the future, and this is right now.